She carries a famous name, recognizable all over the world. Dr. Maki Mandela kindly agreed to sit down for a chat about her latest book project, and this is how our conversation went. This is The Bookshelf here on eNCA. Welcome to The Bookshelf, only on eNCA. We are in conversation with Dr. Maki Mandela, who curated and put together this exquisite book in honor of Utatu Mandela, in honor of an extraordinary life. Thank you so much for having us, and congratulations. I believe it's a baby that you had anticipated or worked on for over a year. Just talk us through that process.
Well, I actually decided to do the book after having conversation with Rusoli, which is a publishing company in New York. And I think once I started doing the work, I actually regretted why I had actually even proposed. It's my first time to write a book and actually to do a coffee table book, and I think it takes a lot of work. I think for me it would have been easy to write just a simple narrative. But I think once I had done the first draft, I felt motivated, and I think that once the finished product was done, I was excited that this had come out because for me it was important to center Tata in the cultural space of being, a father, a brother, an African son, and also to talk about the issue of his tradition and customs, and the fact that for Tata, lineage and kinship meant a lot to him until he closed his eyes. For me, history matters. It is important because that's where we learn who we are as a people, our language, which is rich, our traditions and customs, and the things that we, as a people, as African, we contributed to this world.
Your view on the leadership qualities that have not been emulated or should be emulated based on the teachings of Utata?
Look, when I look at our educational system, I actually cry inside because the educational system really has not changed since apartheid days. Our children still spend more time on Afrikaans. The world is moving into a digital world where AI is at the center and forefront of everything that we do. Yet STEM subjects are not compulsory for our children in this country. How are they going to compete in the world that is changing at a very, very fast pace? You look at China today. All children are forced to learn artificial intelligence, to learn coding. If you look at the Middle East and the Emirates, no child can graduate from high school without coding as a subject. Where are we, Tina, as South Africa with our education? Those who are privileged, perhaps who are in the private schools and model Cs, get a better education, and the rest of our children are actually getting poor education that's not going to lead them to any credible job. And so we can't compete with the world at this rate.
As much as we love Utatu Mandela and yourself as the oldest first child, at which point did you make peace that he's not your daddy, that you can just claim for yourself and share with your immediate siblings? He's actually a world icon. He is a freedom fighter and doesn't exclusively belong to you. And how did that make you feel?
Well, I mean, it's an open secret that I've said I was very angry and bitter with my dad. But I realized in my 30s that anger and bitterness is not going to lead me anywhere. And I have to be at peace first with myself then at peace with Tata. As I said, I'm stubborn. It said I'm like Tata. If I believe in something, I will do it. It doesn't matter the distractions there. And I think, to me, the stubbornness has led me to live the life that I can look back at and be proud. Yes, my father impressed on me the importance of education, and I will be internally grateful for Tata because a doctorate actually just enables you to understand the world better. And I have a keen interest in reading and exploring widely in my profession, but also in other spiritual things. I am very interested in our past as humans and how that past actually informs us. I want to understand better the power that we have as individuals to change the world, and that we control our own destiny. But it starts from the inside out. It's not from the outside in.
Yes. And this is what you had passed on to your own children as well. Was this, in a way, protecting them from the hardships, the difficult circumstances that you had to grow up with, not only with an absent father, but in many ways who was connected, separated physically because of his incarceration, but he was there in one way or another.
It's important to carve out your own stake in life and not rely on the laurels of a Mandela, because Tata did it for himself. He made the choices for himself, and you have to learn to make choices that create you to be a better person in this world.